This is a video presentation on order of operations with negative numbers by Mathematically Marcia. We are going to use the word GEMS to help us to remember the 4 steps for solving order of operations. So the G stands for grouping symbols. The most common known or thought of grouping symbol or most used would be parentheses. Of course, that is not the only one. There's also brackets and braces. A fraction bar can act like a grouping symbol. A square root symbol, even a division box can act like grouping symbols. Once we solve inside the grouping symbols, we will move on to exponents, and that's what the letter E stands for, is exponents. After you simplify your exponents, working from left to right, you will do all of the multiplication and division. And you will do those in the order they appear, working from left to right. So as you go left to right, if the division comes first, you do it first. If the multiplication comes first, you do it first. And finally, all that will be left at that point is the subtraction and addition. And this would also be done from left to right. Or you can follow your rules for adding and subtracting integers. So our 4 steps: grouping symbols, exponents, multiplication and division, subtraction and addition. And we do each of those steps working from left to right. Okay, for our first example, we're going to start with our grouping symbols. So in here inside parentheses, we have 5 minus 8. So we solve that first. And then everything else we bring down exactly as it is. Our next step is to do exponents. And then that 2 exponent means everything that is in the parentheses next to it is the base. That's what is multiplied by itself. So in this case, we have negative 3 squared. So negative 3 times negative 3 would be positive 9. Then we keep everything else as it is. Notice the minus that was in front of the parentheses is still there. Next step is to look for multiplication and division. And we have a division right here. 4 divided by 2 is 2. We'll keep everything else as it is. Now we do subtraction and addition. Now you can work subtraction and addition from left to right. Or what I like to do is add my positives together, add my negatives. Here we have 2 negatives. That would be negative 11. So you'd have 3 minus 11. And since the signs are different, subtract, keep the sign of the larger. So that would be negative 8. Okay, for this next example, we don't have any grouping symbols or exponents. We do have division right here. A fraction bar can actually serve as the division sign. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. And we will bring everything else down as it is. Now, if you look here, we're down to subtraction and addition. But right here, we have a negative 2 and a positive 2. Those are opposites. And we know anytime we have opposites, they cancel because they equal 0. And so we are left with negative 7. So our answer is negative 7. For this example, we have quite a few operations inside a grouping symbol. All of this right here. But multiplication and division comes before addition and subtraction. So we're going to start with that. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then everything else will come down as it is. Now, within the parentheses, we have all adding and subtracting. So let's add these two positives together. That would be 5. And then we have minus 7 still, and negative 4. And now 5 minus 7 will be negative 2. Remember, this is the same as 5 plus negative. There's more negatives, so our answer is negative. And then we still have negative 4. Parentheses not only act as grouping symbol, they can also indicate multiplication, as they do in this case. So the negative 4 times negative 2 means we do negative 4 times negative 2, which is positive 8. In this example, the fraction bar acts as a grouping symbol. It groups the numerator together here. In the numerator, we have 6 minus 24, or 6 plus negative 24. Since they're different, we subtract. Get 18, keep the sign of the larger, so that would be negative. And then we keep the divide by 3, or the fraction bar with the 3, which, as we said before, fraction bars can also act as a division problem. So this right here is negative 18 divided by 3, which is negative 6. Now we have a grouping symbol inside of a grouping symbol. So we'll do the one that's innermost, or the most inside, first. And 4 minus 1 would be 3. Then everything else we bring on down without changing it. Now we have all of this within inside the grouping symbol that needs to be solved. We have subtraction, we have multiplication, we have an exponent. Exponents would come first before multiplication or the subtraction. And 3 squared, again, remember with exponents, whatever is directly next to the exponent or whatever's in the parentheses right next to it is what is squared, or whatever the exponent is. That's what is multiplied repeatedly. So in this case we have 3 squared. So 3 times 3 is 9. We bring down everything else exactly as it is. Now the multiplication comes before the subtraction. And then 2 times 9 is 18. And we'll keep everything else as it is. Okay, now within the grouping symbol, we have, look at it as addition or subtraction. Since we're down to all addition, we can take the grouping symbol away and just add or subtract. I'm going to start by taking my positive. 6 plus 3 is 9 plus negative 18. Now I have more negatives. So they're different, so we subtract. And because I have more negatives, my answer is negative. So this one would be negative 9. To see more videos like this, click the subscribe button below. Please share your comments, questions, or requests for future topics in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.